Hi everybody, welcome to the stream. It's gonna be an exciting one. We're gonna finish where we left off on the last stream. Last stream we talked about air conditioning, but today we're gonna talk about pressurization. They are basically the same system, but they are divided up into two parts. Air conditioning and pressurization. So we did air conditioning on last stream, today we're gonna do pressurization. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start up our simulator and we're going to do a flight from Marseille. Is it from Marseille? No, it's from Palermo to Marseille. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be fun, guys. Hey, Scott B. The arguable peer. Peer. Pilot person, it's that time again. It's pilot H time. I'm just starting the simulator, guys, so bear with me. Bear with me. Alright. So, we're going to take off from LECJ. And I bought the scenery for this airport, actually, so that's where we're going to use it. That's the only reason, guys. Should I start off from stand? Let's start off from stand. We never do that. Well, I never do that. God, but I don't know where we park. I don't know. Let's take that one. Ooh, no, wait. That one. I hope that's right. Hey, hey, Munkin! Welcome to the stream. What happened to my why does my stream look like this? What the hell is this? Did I break it? What the hell is this now? What the? I literally haven't touched a single thing since the last stream. The only thing I've done is change the title of the stream. I don't know what happened here. Alright, let's have a look. P3D properties. What happened? Settings. Oh, think I know what happened. No, I don't. I don't know what happened. Take it back. Is it working? What, so I have to... But I can't stretch it. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what happened here. I literally have done nothing. Oh, there we go. I'm getting there. Still doesn't look good. Why? I'm so sorry. Hey, at least the camera's working. You like that? At least the camera. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed, guys. You should not have to deal with this. This is things I should have set up before the stream, but I did nothing. I literally did nothing. It's just, I don't know what happened. What the hell happened? Fit to screen. No, that's not it. What if I go full screen? Let's go full screen. Yeah, you can't win with me, can you? There is no winning with me. Alright, let me see. Settings. What the hell? Hey, future airline pilot, that is awesome, man. How did you like the airplane? Was it good? What happened? Can somebody tell me what I did wrong? Like, I don't know what I did. Hey, Scott B, sorry, man. You know, Mobot doesn't like you. Going to OBS edit. Alright, and make it bigger. Yeah, that's... Is there any way to get rid of the constraints? Alright, I'll do something, wait. Like, it could make it bigger, but like, then you don't see... I don't want... No, because then you don't see what I see. Or do you? Close enough. Close enough, guys. Alright, let's just leave it. Leave it like that. No more touchy. Do you have two views open? Man, I haven't done a thing, I swear to God. This is fine though, isn't it? This is fine. Yeah, that's fine, guys. So sorry, guys. Do apologize. Do apologize. I'm gonna start Active Sky just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. Cause it's fun. And then, does the weather then change? Oh yeah, it did. Look, how cool is that? Right, so let's set up our flight. Okay, so for you guys that did not follow or did not watch the last stream I did, which was I think 2 days ago, we covered air conditioning. Today, what's going to happen is we're going to take off. It's going to be a normal takeoff. Everything should be working smoothly, and we'll do it quickly. You know, just get ourselves airborne. Once we're airborne, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the pressurization system, how the airplane pressurizes. We'll have a look at a picture I posted on Twitter. Talk about that. That was actually, as somebody did mention, that was the outflow valve. And let's see if we can see it outside. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you see. Oh. Yeah, you guys see that red thing? That thing right there? Oh, there it is. That's what I took a picture of. That's the outflow valve. So we're going to talk about that, and once we've finished our like technical talk, we'll go ahead and we'll simulate a emergency descent, and I will tell you guys what we would do in real life and how we deal with it. It's gonna be a little bit hard because I'm the only pilot. Normally, emergency descent is quite a lot of things is gonna happen, and it's quite challenging, and it requires great CRM, great communications between the two pilots, and is really challenging because you know you have to consider it could be quite a startle factor, and it's going to be noisy, it's going to be windy, it's going to be cold, the dust, and you got the humidity, and we're going to talk about it, and it's not something that you would want to happen, but if it does happen, you need to fall back on your training. Hey everybody, NRM, how are you? So we are in Palermo. This is Palermo, and that's a huge mountain. Makes quite challenging approaches actually if you fly in here in real life. Quite challenging. They have one approach which is a captain's only approach, at least in my airline, where the first officer is not even allowed to land because of the quite challenging. It's like a part circle, part visual approach. But it is a fun airport, and that is also where Pilot Maria is based. So we're going to take off from there and we're going to fly into Marseille, which is another challenging airport. And we're going to do runway, hopefully we'll do 31. We'll have a look. If the wind is not correct, maybe we'll just change the wind. But runway 31 is really interesting because I thought we'll talk about that as well. Runway 31 in Marseille has a 4-degree glide path. A 4-degree glide path. Normally, most ILSs have 3. And the difference between 3 and 4 is substantial. It's quite noticeable. You will see the difference. Emmanuel, yep, there was a Windjet crashed. That was the A320, no? There was an Airbus that crashed. Hey, LMMJAQO. That is so great to see you in the chat, though. Feel free to ask questions about anything. Today's subject is going to be pressurization, and then we'll do emergency descent. We're going to bring up the QRH. We're going to do some memory items. But if you have any questions, just let me know, man. I love interacting with you guys. So that's the rule of the stream. Interaction. Yeah, the A320 crashed. That's exactly what it was. Hey, it works better on the phone. Really? Alright, guys. So I got. Let's go ahead and set up our FMC. Let's go FS actions. I'm getting really good at this, thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys, I'm getting really good at setting up PMDG. So we're going to take 6.5 tons. Bam. And payload, our zero fuel weight should be... Oh wow, we are really light today. 49.5. That's really light. That's the zero fuel weight. There we go. So our takeoff weight should be about 55.6. PMDG calculates 56. So that's perfect. That's really light. Alright. I'm using a real life flight plan. That's why I'm using those figures. I don't know when the 320 crashed. I remember I flew into Palermo one day and they never moved it. So that airplane that crashed, I think it crashed short of the runway, whatever. It's been there, and it's still. Well, they moved it now, but it was there. I guess the passenger could see it when you landed. It was like, what the hell? Just move that thing. Just don't leave a crashed airplane like on the approach. But hey, Lima Fox Mike Lima, and is there any way to see the wind? Wait. The wind is that 65, 30? No. Well, I don't get it. 048 at 14. 048. So we should take off runway. What runways do they have? Take off 07 then. Yeah, 07. Departure 07, and we're gonna do a capital departure. Cap. Is this 6 Alpha or 6 Charlie? Yeah, that one. That one looks good. So first, what I prefer to do is put in the departure first, and then I'll fill in the route, and then I'll put in arrival. Some people put in the departure and then the arrival, and then they fill in the route. I just like to do it this way because it makes more sense to me. But doesn't matter, you know, as long as you get everything done. I thought about, like, a lot of you guys asked me on one of my streams at least that, man, you guys do this in Ryanair in 25 minutes or less. I thought one day I'll just film it and I will show you how fast we actually do this in real life. We're talking like a minute at the most to set up the FMC. So it'd be fun to watch you guys. That it goes way faster in the real airplane. I remember I've been doing that for almost 10 years in the rail. I've been using that FMC for so long, so I know every single button on the rail thing. Right, so NISEC, upper Tango 175 to T0. T0, and then we'll do the arrival. By the way, guys, how's the audio? Is the audio okay? Because, hey, Cody! How you doing, man? Let's see, Dan the student. How old was I? I think I was 17 or 16 the first time I flew. The first airplane I flew was probably a DA, it was Diamond. Yeah. So we're gonna do other Zulu 3-1 right, and it's a Tino. Oh, you guys remember this? I showed you guys before in stream, but here's a life hack. So the rival is a what's it called? T-Naught 8 Charlie arrival, right? That's the arrival, but the arrival ends at a waypoint before the ILS. And then you have to do a transition, and there are a few transitions to choose from. One's from Callan, one is from Dolly, and one is from Martix VR. Which one is it? Well, you could take up your chart and have a look at every one and find the correct one, or you could just cheat and go to Lex page on your other FMC, press previous until you find the discontinuity. Once you find that, go to the previous one and you see, okay, it goes to Callan, and then we got a problem. So clearly the transition is from Callan. Go ahead and press Callan and you see, bam, beautiful. So if you don't know which transition, use the FMC and maybe you could find it. Cody, I am doing great, my friend. I flew today, flew to Dortmund. Dortmund is an airfield in Germany and is the shortest runway landing distance wise, is the shortest landing distance available of all the airfields that my airline flies into. Today we had to use auto brake max, flap 40, and we use maximum reverse thrust to land there. And yeah, I mean, the approach is easy. There's like no terrain or anything. It's really straightforward. The problem is the landing. And when you land in short airfields like that, the most important thing is be stabilized early, nice and stable. Follow that glide slope. Don't get high. And even more importantly, more important than most things, is your speed control. You need to fly. If you're aiming, if you're V fly, which is the speed you're supposed to fly on the approach, if that's VRF plus 5, you better fly VRF plus 5. Don't fly VRF plus 8. Don't fly VRF plus 11. Be precise. Fly VRF plus 5, because every knot of airspeed you add, that'll be a longer distance, like landing roll. Also, it's really important to land where you're supposed to land. So don't be trying to do some fancy landings, nice and smooth. No, you better land that airplane where it's supposed to land, and you better land it positively. Not a hard landing, but you need to really get the weight on those wheels, because you want to deploy the speed brake quickly. You want to get the reverses out. You don't want to be floating. So yeah, my cam looks way better. I don't know what happened. I haven't done anything. I literally did nothing. I just came here, booted up the stream just like I did before, and all of a sudden my PMDG's, like the window capture thing, is all crazy, but the cam started working, so that's great. Alright guys, so let's see. 4-in-1, I'm not sure what you mean though. All I said was, like, if you don't know what the transition is, go to your legs page and find where the discontinuity is. Like, your arrival will end somewhere. And then where did it end? Well, it ended at Callan in our case, so the arrival needs to be from Callan, or the transition. Yeah, absolutely. Dan the student, like, what we do oh, what did I do? Oh no, I did something. Alright. What we do specifically for that runway, because it's so short, that we will actually calculate a distance on the runway, and if you haven't touched down before that distance, we'll do a go around. That's how short it is. Alright, so that's done. Next thing I like to do is fill in the performance page. Start off with your cost index. I like to go from downwards, up, and then I'll move over and I go down again. That's the way I do it. Our alternate airfield is Malpensa today, and we need that plus the half an hour, bringing our reserves to 2.4. Sorry about the cat though. He's really social and he felt lonely. And our zero fuels are 49.5. Cruise is gonna be 3.8. Could actually go up to 400 straight away. Let's go up to 400. That's because we're so light today. My birthday is the 2nd of July, so in a few months. How I began my career in Gothenburg. It's a city in Sweden on the west coast. Beautiful city. Really, I miss Sweden. But yeah, That's where I started, and I started flying. Started doing all my training, and I finished really quick. Like I think I did everything like a year and a half or so. And then I didn't get a job, so I started flying skydivers, towed gliders, did all that good stuff before I got a job. I was actually on my way to start a flight instructor course. So I wanted to be a flight instructor, but then Ryanair called at the same time. So yeah, never got to become a flight instructor. I've had the opportunity to become a line trainer in Ryanair, so I will teach the cadets how to fly. I've yet to accept though, because that would mean a little bit more work than normal and stuff like that, which is all great. Like I do like it, but maybe later, because my girlfriend is not here, and I just want to go home and spend some time with her. Um, there, let's go. That's it. Get our flight directors on, and that is it. Oh, what I also suggest that you do, I do in the real airplane, but I always forget to do it in simulator. If you go to when you fill in your performance page, when you fill in the cruise altitude of 400, go ahead and check on your overhead panel and set I cannot scroll at the same time. Okay, set 400 straight away, because otherwise you might forget it, and that's going to screw up with your pressurization, and that's exactly today's topic, so that would be a shame if I screw that up. And whilst you're up there, set your landing altitude as well, and we're going to talk about what those means. 70, it's actually 70, so I'll just leave it at 50. You cannot be a captain the first time. You need to do, you need some experience. The co-pilot can indeed be, it could be, I have flown with other captains, so it had been me and another captain. That is not normally done, but I have been trained to fly from the right seat as well. Turn on off ML. ML. So I go here, and then I go to add-ons. ML. What is ML? Is it point of view or Z or what? Turn off ML. Deactivate Z. Oh, Z. Alright, thanks. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much, guys. That's it. That's all our FMC set up. Didn't take that long. So we're going to go ahead and execute all that. Okay, we selected. Just leave it at 22K, takeoff, flap 5, speeds are selected, activate, execute. I always bring the speed back. I'll show you guys. You see that initial turn? So that's the initial waypoint, then you make the turn. I always bring the speed back to 220 on the initial turn. So at the 278 Echo, which is that one, I will put the speed to 220. Otherwise, LNAV might overshoot that turn and you might bust your departure. Reason being that LNAV will bank the airplane accordingly, but only up to 30 degrees. So as soon as it hits 30 degrees, it will not bank anymore, and you might overshoot your turn. Lucas says he lives in Germany. His dream is to be a pilot. Well, you just started. You did it, right? You flew gliders. You're flying gliders. Man, you're on your way. You're on your way. Dan asked if he worked as a pilot for the RAF and then got a type from 737. Well, you will not immediately. They won't put you in the right seat, right? So you still need to. Okay, first you convert all your license to civilian. So once you have that, that's all good. Then you can apply to Ryanair, but you would still join as a cadet. So you would still do all the line training and all the type rating again and all that stuff. But for what? Don't worry about it though. -8. I mean, have a look what the actual rules are. Thank you so much, Munkin. Thanks for trying though. Yeah, Munkin is my hero. That guy is fucking awesome. He has supported this stream, and not only my stream, like a lot of streamers. A lot of streamer. That's it. That's all I tried to say. So he's a really good guy. All right, so we'll bid him farewell. We'll be on our way. Uh, if you can't be a pilot because of the money, and so the Scots say, there are scholarships, right? There are even free schools, and ATC is another option. You could be ATC for free. Like there are free ways of becoming a pilot. The military is one. If you don't get accepted in the military, there are some scholarships you can apply for. If you don't get them, there are even flight schools in Sweden and Norway that would accept you. Now, I think you might have in Sweden. You need to know Swedish to join, but they would take you. All right, so oh man, our engines are on. God damn it. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and taxi then. So we need to get to runway 07. See if I remember how to do this. So outside spot. Where's my yoke at? We'll taxi to runway 07. Oh, I'm so. By the way, I don't know how to taxi. I use the ailerons for that. Palermo's beautiful, by the way. Like if you ever fly in here, for real, it's beautiful. And I bought this scenery yesterday. Oh my God, what's that car doing? He doesn't care, does he? I mean, I don't care either. Oh, this is not a. It's not exit. God damn it. Where's the exit? Clearly. Oh, there's exit right there. Let's go there. Have you considered getting your rail yoke? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The thing is, all the donations I got from the stream so far has been to improve the stream. So buying all the stuff I need, and next up will actually be a camera. So once I get the web camera, maybe I'll get a proper capture card, excuse me. And then once I have that, we'll go ahead and invest in like a flight yoke and all that stuff, because I don't really need it for the stream. It's more of a nice thing to have, but it's not that important, because normally I won't even taxi. If you haven't watched my stream before, I've only taxied the airplane twice ever. So normally I won't be doing this. If I'm interested in moving to a bigger airline or a bigger aircraft, I mean, it would be awesome to fly something bigger or just even smaller. It doesn't matter, but just another type rating, just as a challenge. But man, it doesn't really. I value my time at home more, and the roster is amazing, and life is good. I don't complain. It's not just about the airplane, although it would be awesome to fly something cool. Uh, Kept up 4K. Man, Cody's the boss. You can change the aileron axis to rudder taxi and change it back after takeoff. Uh, Bro, I'm gonna probably crash the stream if I do that. This runway right here, the one we're crossing, this one is really challenging. And I think the other guy crashed on the other side actually. It wasn't on the. Don't think he crashed on the challenging runway. Not sure. Our max turn speed on the 737 is if the this is standard operating procedure, so it could differ from airlines. Our max taxi speed is 30, so 30 knots on a straight line. In turns, which are more than 45 degrees, our max speed should be 10. On the apron, we'll taxi no faster than 15. And then there are some exceptions, of course. But we could actually backtrack on an active runway at 50 knots. Look, I'm sliding. I'm skidding. Man, I cannot believe I actually made it. There we go. So let's get back inside. Why am I here? Oh, there we go. So let's see. Hitman, morning. Is it 20 knots the max taxi speed? Full? No, it's 30. So 30 knots is the max taxi speed on a straight line in Ryanair. Okay, that's just what this is standard operating procedure. Boeing said nothing about taxi speeds. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and take off. and as soon as I get airborne, I'm gonna go LNAV, and then we'll go ahead. So let's do below the line. Let's go ahead and turn everything on. Otherwise, people will call me out if I don't. Terrain, go airport to my side. Beautiful. We don't need lights. All right, so to take off in a real 737. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So 30 knots on a straight line, 10 knots if the turn is more than 45 degrees. So if you're going to do a 90-degree turn, let's say you're taxiing, you're going to enter the apron, that'll be done at maximum of 10 knots. And remember, it's not target airspeed. Sorry, target ground speed. It's not target. It's the limitations. That's our max speeds. So 30 straight line, 10 in turns, 15 once you enter the apron, and that's about it, guys. Flaps, the flaps, we need flaps, absolutely. 1, 2, and 5. Next stream, guys, next stream will probably be with Pilot Maria. And then Pilot Maria will act as a first officer, and we'll do like a proper flight with the checklist and everything, just like we did last time. And this time around, she'll have way more confidence. So she'll be talking a lot. This is Palermo. Don't you turn on your nav, LNAV, VNAV on stand? So Ninja, no, we don't. Actually, we'll turn on. Normally, we turn on. We don't use the VNAV for departure. That's a company procedure. What is that? Oh, no, never mind. We don't use VNAV for departure in Ryanair. Now, Boeing, the 737 can take off if you have the correct software. You could take off with VNAV engaged. But we have LNAV, and then once we get our flaps up with no lights, we'll go ahead and press VNAV. Yeah, that's Palermo. This is, hey, how you doing, man? CDA3D Live. CDA3D Live has an awesome stream, and he actually flew to Palermo. And he landed just a while back ago. He did a go-around, and then he landed. Really nicely done. But now I'm going to take off from Palermo. I'm going to fly back to Marseille. Alright, guys, so let's go. So, alright, so what I was saying, to take off a 737 in real life, what you're looking for is, first of all, to make sure your headings are correct. What I suggest you guys do is you look at your ND, which is this one right here. Read that out. 064. It should be the same as your heading up here, 064. So 064, 064. Then you could go ahead and press timing. What I do when I start my timing is I press the elapsed time. That starts the elapsed time. But then I also start my chronometer. And the chronometer I use for my maximum time is 5 minutes at max power, which is our takeoff power. And that's it. Then we're going to spool up our engines, and we're going to spool them up to 40%. Once they're stabilized, and they could spool up differently in crosswind, right? So, but once you get about 40%, normally the spool up time should be the same. The call out from pilot monitoring will be stabilized. Then you'll go ahead and press TOGA, which was there somewhere, yeah. TOGA. And then you say, okay, set takeoff thrust. The guy will set takeoff thrust, so follow along with the TOGA and call takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Then it will call 80 knots. I will respond check. It has two purposes, that call out. One, it's a incapacitation check. So it checks for, I have to answer, otherwise I might have been incapacitated. Second of all, it's also the high speed, low speed segment of our departure. So above 80 knots, we won't reject the takeoff for many things. We'll only reject it for few things. At 400 feet, I'll call LNAV, and just to verify the LNAV has been engaged. So LNAV, and pilot monitoring will say LNAV or checked or whatever. And then once we hit 1,000 feet, we're going to go ahead and bug up, meaning bring our bug speed up. This is called NADP number 2, or noise abatement procedure number 2. Noise abatement procedure number 2 means that you keep your you keep climbing in a dirty configuration, meaning with the flaps out and everything. Also get the gear up, obviously, until you hit 1,000 feet. At 1,000 feet, you go ahead and retract the flaps. So it will start a level segment almost, and then you bring your flaps up. And you can only bring the flaps up. Man, the stream looks way worse today. I have to look into this. It doesn't normally looks better. Yeah, you bring your flaps. I'll show that later because I got distracted by the quality of the stream. Now, once you're then about 3,000 feet above aerodrome elevation, you have all your flaps up, then you can go ahead and call for VNAV, press VNAV. This is my company's standard operating procedures. Once you've done that, you can call for the after takeoff checklist. Hey Sean, how you doing, man? Not a new webcam, just works. I don't know what happened. I have done nothing. It just just decided to work today. So we're climbing up to 40,000 feet today. The service ceiling, the maximum we could go to is 41. And it's quite suiting because we're going to talk about pressurization today. Spencer asks, on the PFD, those numbers 5, 1, and up, are those the max speeds for the specific flight or the minimum speeds? They are the minimum speeds. So if I go ahead and you see that up speed? If I bring the speed to up, that's the minimum clean speed. Minimum clean means the minimum airspeed the airplane can fly clean. Clean meaning that all the flaps are in. If I go ahead and select flaps 1, two things is going to happen. One, we're going to get the bug speed. You see that bug speed? That's the minimum airspeed you can fly with the flaps of 1. Second thing is you're going to get the red barber pole. It's going to come down and it's going to hit 250 knots. 250 knots is the maximum airspeed you can fly with the flaps 1. If I go ahead and bring the flaps up again, we're going to lose that bug speed, and the red barber pole will disappear eventually once the flaps are completely up, and it will go back to 340 knots, which is our maximum indicated airspeed, 340. Or that's our VMO, the maximum airspeed, but then you have the maximum Mach number, which is the MMO, and that's the 0.82. We're going to Marseille. It buffers? Oh, god damn it. Guys, check if I have, what's it called? God, check if I have the, encoding option. Maybe you could lower it, hopefully. And Flap 40 says 10 checks. Yes. In Ryanair, we do something called 10 checks. What are you talking about? Your altimeter is set correctly. It is set correctly, standard. It's talking about press Control X. Oh, whatever. Does the up speed change? No, because Spencer, the minimum clean speed doesn't change. Our stall speed doesn't change if you have one engine or two engines. It doesn't change at all. All that we're losing is thrust. So we lost half our thrust basically, so we only have one engine. But the speeds don't change. Your airplane will stall at the same speed. It will still stall at the same angle of attack for that weight. Well, it's not even for the weight. It doesn't matter. It's just all about the angle of attack. But no, it doesn't change with the speed. Oh, sorry, with the engine failure. Oh, Woody Waddy. Thank you so much. Woody says that I do have video quality options. Thank you so much, my friend. When a controller approach asks us our speed, no, you will always tell him the indicated airspeed. So the speed you see on your primary flight display. Don't tell him the true airspeed. Don't tell him the ground speed. He can see the ground speed on his radar anyway. But for a traffic controller, if you tell him, okay, fly 250 knots, or he tells you fly 250, so you fly 250, but your ground speed is 400. Okay, it doesn't matter, because if he tells the other guy, okay, so if I told him to do 250, I'll tell this guy to do 230. He knows it's gonna work. Joshua asks, how much do you get paid a month? Man, I'm sure you could Google that, but Ryanair pays good. Emmanuel asks, when do you use Flap 40? Well, today I flew 4-rail in real life, and we went to an airport called Dortmund. Dortmund has a really short runway. It's actually the shortest runway we have in Ryanair that we fly to. That would be a great case when to use Flap 40. Crazy guy, hey, welcome back to the stream, man. How you doing, man? How are you doing? Can you show us your monitor and gaming equipment with the webcam? Man, gaming equipment is like, this is it. That's it. It's a Logitech Attack 3, and it's my girlfriend's, so I stole it. But that being said, hippie, you could go ahead and scroll down on my stream and like press. There's a link, and you could press like what the computer or something. What's the longest flight you ever done a 737? About 5.5 hours, something like that. I don't have a YouTube. We're flying from Palermo to Marseille. That short runway was called Dortmund. It's 1,700 feet. The second officer, have you ever flown from Alicante? Yeah, absolutely. I have flown to Alicante and from Alicante many times. I stay, it's called, what's it called? Alicante Hills. And it's between Alicante and the airport, and like at the beach. And you go up, you have to drive up, and there's like a school. I think it's an international school. And I always stay there when I go to Alicante and when I'm out of base there. Iceman, I don't know, bro. Like, Iceman is man. Your parents did you right, man. Hey, Trevor Hawk, I do appreciate you just coming by and saying hi, though. That is cool. Favorite flight part to Gothenburg, because I'm from there. Future, bro, man, pay attention. Longest flight, 5.5 hours ish. All right, so we're on our way. So because we're talking about pressurization, this is what you need to do, guys, if you fly the 737. You always check the pressurization panel every 10,000 feet. So check it at, well, check it on your after takeoff checklist. It should be part of the after takeoff checklist. Then you check it again at 10,000 feet, check it again at 20,000 feet, and then again at 30 and 40. So today, because we're going up to 40,000 feet, we should have checked it on our after takeoff checklist. We should have checked it at 10 and 20 and 30 and 40,000 feet, because the pressurization system is really important, and today's stream is all about pressurization. So once we get level, we're going to go ahead and start talking about the technical aspects, and once we're finished with that, we're going to go ahead and talk about some emergency procedures. Specifically, we're going to do emergency descent. So the pressurization is going to fail, there's going to be a hole in the airplane or something, something's going to go horribly wrong, and we need to descend, and we need to do emergency descent. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So it's all about this panel. Last stream was also about this panel, but we talked about the pressurization part. Today, sorry, about the air conditioning part. Today, we're going to talk about the pressurization part of this panel. Future airline pilot, I think we flew, I think it was from like Tenerife South to like Bremen. But I think the longest flight in Ryanair is probably from Tenerife South to Skavsta. I think that's the longest we do. '41. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. If you go to China, you go to an airline called Xiamen, or even Hainan, and all these guys, or China Southern, or is it, yeah, all those people, they pay captains like in excess of $300,000 a year. In excess, like I don't get that much money, trust me, like, but that's what they pay in China because they're desperate for pilots. Flap 40, you did not miss the PA. We have yet to do a PA. We're gonna do a PA today, but it won't be a nice one. It will be a PA I have to do if we lose pressurization. I will make that PA today. So we're approaching 30,000 feet. Go ahead and look up at your panel. What we're looking for is our cabin altitude, which is the inner scale, and the outer scale is a differential pressure. Check the climb rate. Does it make sense? And make sure that the cabin your pressurization panel is correctly configured. That's what you're looking for. Pain compensation, yeah. Daux UK, yeah, man, it's crazy, but people don't want to go there. People don't want to live in China. It's not a nice place, to work, I guess, from what I heard. But so they do pay a lot because they have to pay, otherwise people won't go. PA hype. Monk is still in chat, boys. No, crazy guy. No, I wouldn't leave Ryanair for long haul. Like long haul doesn't suit my lifestyle at the moment. I wouldn't say never, but today absolutely no. I'm happy where I am. Notice, guys, how our airspeed. By the way, this is just sidetracking. I just noticed. Look how we're flying at airspeed 289. The airplane will fly 289 until we transition to 787 Mach 0.078, which is going to happen shortly. Normally that happens at around 28,000 feet, 29,000 feet. Today it'll be around 32,000 feet. And you see that? Now we're flying a Mach number. And once you hit the Mach number, your climb rate will immediately be better. Because as you climb, your indicated airspeed will go down, but your Mach number will stay constant. And to maintain the same Mach number, because the airspeed needs to be lowered, you need to pitch up. And therefore, initially, at that transition stage, your climb speed is really bad. Once you hit the Mach number, you see how it's going to increase. But that has nothing to do with today's subject. Chat mode plus audio mode. I didn't know you could have audio mode. Joshua, yeah, I've been in Belfast many times. Guys, I should actually put that in my description. If it is a Ryanair destination, 90% probably I've been there. 90%. Yeah, Joshua, don't spam that, man. You know, I'll get around to answering the questions. If my favorite airplane is 737, well, it's the one I fly, so it's the one I care about today. If I flew something else, you know, that would be my favorite airplane, I guess. Today, the 737 is not just my career, like it's not just a job for me. Like I make it, I really try to improve myself every day. Every day I go into work, I try to learn. I try to improve my flying. Like some first officers or even captains, you know, they will forget about. They will just come in and do the minimum required. Man, come on! You wanted to be a pilot for a reason. Like this was your passion, right? You could complain all you want about terms and conditions and the money and the salary and the missus is cheating on you, but end of the day, you chose to be a pilot, so go ahead and do what you love. You're doing what you love. Hopefully you love flying, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it, right? Pride Warrior, what's grades did I get at school? Well, I mean, I got okay grades. Like, they were above average, I would say. Just above average. I wouldn't say anything special. 737 is a lifestyle. Where are my glasses? I should have my sunglasses on and go, like, lifestyle. So, oh my god, I pressed a button on my yoke and the gear just dropped. Let's get the gear up. Did you guys notice how that red band changed? It's because the placard speaks for the gear. What subject do you need to be a passive pilot? I don't know, man. It was a long time ago. Hovercat, could you tell us a little about line checks? How often? A line check is a check which is done at minimum once a year. What will happen is I will sit in my left seat. I'll be a captain and then I'll have a first officer, but we'll have a line check pilot. A line training pilot will be sat on the jump seat. And this is the jump seat, right? And it will be a normal flight, standard flight, nothing special, no quizzes or anything like that. And he just wants to make sure that we still know our SOPs and we fly to you know, a good level. So it's nothing dramatic. You keep flying. It's just a normal day. When you arrive at an airport, the speed go back to 100, then altitude go from. Emmanuel, let's see. Why, when you arrive at an airport, the speed go back to 100 and the altitude go, for example, 31? Oof. Emmanuel, I'm not sure what you mean, bro. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, if you mean the airspeed, like on the ground, we will always wind it back down to 100. We'll wind that back to 100. And the reason is because 100 is airspeed you will never fly ever. And the 737 will never get to 100. So if you put 100, oh hey, I forgot my V speeds. And then you'll put your V2 speed here. And the V2 speed is really important for your engine failure scenarios and also your climb out speed. So you need to set the correct V2. I'm doing mechanical engineering at university. Do you think that will help me get a job if I choose to become a pilot? I don't think it will. I don't think it will necessarily help you get a job, but it will absolutely will help you in your life and even as a pilot if you get that degree. And also if one day you decide the pilot wasn't for you, or maybe you don't get a job as a pilot for whatever reason, you always have a degree to fall back on. So I definitely think that's a great way of going about it. Oh, 100. Okay, flat 40. So he means that why do we set like 3000 plus 100? Okay, 3000 probably in Palermo was the missed approach altitude. So that will be what's left on the MCP. MCP meaning this altitude window. That's what's in there when you land the airplane. Once you land it, what we do in my company is we'll take that and we'll just add 100. And that'll be as a reminder for us to know that, oh hey, we haven't received our actual clearance yet. We haven't actually received a clearance, our departure altitude clearance. So, and then we'll change that for something else. So let's say our departure, we look at our plate and then it says, this departure climb and maintain 5,000 feet. So before we receive the actual clearance, we'll put 5,000 plus 100. That'll be a reminder for us knowing that, hey, we haven't actually received the clearance. It's just a reminder. Guys, we'll do a PA, but the PA won't be a good one. It will be a emergency descent PA. I love these clouds, man. That's cool. So hey, we're 40,000 feet. That's only 1,000 feet away from our maximum service ceiling. Is 41. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the airplane. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and look at the overhead panel. And we'll go ahead and move over here. There we go. So today it's about pressurization, right? So that's what we're talking about. The last stream was all about the air conditioning part. Today we're going to talk about pressurization. Now the cabin is pressurized and controlled during all the phases, right? So and you have two computers. One is alternate and one is the auto, and they will cycle between each other. But it's two computers, and you can see on this switch right here, auto, and then you have alternate that will light up that green thing, and then you also have a mode called manual. You will always leave that switch in auto. What auto does is, if something were to happen, it will automatically switch over to alternate. And if that doesn't work, then you could manually switch it over to alternate computer. And if that doesn't work, you could still have a manual control of the pressurization system. The system uses bleed air and is distributed through the air conditioning system, which we talked about on the last stream. And then pressurization and the ventilation is then controlled by modulating the outflow valve, which was what I showed you guys on my Twitter. So let's go ahead and look at that picture. Twitter. Let's go ahead and do some monitor capture. No, it's not Twitter. Twitter. There you go. Oh no, what happened? There you go. So what's this all about? Join me on my stream to learn more about pressurization. That's a picture I uploaded, and that's me in the background, by the way. I got my my headset on, and well, that's the headset I use for the walk around. This is the outflow valve. This one will modulate between open and close, and now it's in full open. That's where most of the air will be vented out from. Not all of it, but most of it. It'll be from that, and that's at the rear of the airplane. The one I showed, just what I showed you in the beginning of the stream. So that's what we have over there. Bam. So that's how you control the pressurization, by modulating the outflow valve. Now, if you look at our display here, or sorry, on your overhead panel, The new 737s have replaced this panel, and it's a digital one. And even this one is digital. They look the same, but it's digital. This one is analog. It's a needle. That shows you the position of the outflow valve. All the way to the right is full open, and all the way to the left is full closed. Now it's basically closed. Now, what happens if the airplane overpressurized? Well, there are two relief valves, and they're called safety pressure relief valve or something like that. And they will limit the differential pressure, meaning the pressure difference between inside and outside the airplane, to a maximum of 9.1 psi, which is quite a lot. So 9.1 is the maximum. Normally, it'll be around 8.7, 8.75, something like that, at high levels. Today we're really high, we're at 40,000 feet, so we could expect something a little bit higher than that. No more than 9.1, and if we do exceed it, the valves will open, and those valves are located very close to the outflow valve, so they're at the tail of the airplane. There's also a negative relief valve, and that one looks like a box, basically. Well, it's like a square thingy, and that will prevent the external atmospheric pressure to exceed the internal pressure. So there's also a negative, but there are two external. RIP, so at gaming refresh. Alright, so how do we control the pressure, right? How does the pilot control the cabin pressure? The cabin altitude is normally rate controlled. So rate, it will, let's see, just a question here first. That is true. No, Sean Hosty. So Sean Hosty said, I already know the toilet flush by opening a lid flap and then close it a couple of seconds after to suck all the waste into the waste tanks. It's true. So we use, depending on our altitude, at low altitudes and on the ground, there will be a compressor which will then suck the air, suck the, all the waste from the toilet, from the basically where you do the business, and then that will go to our waste system. At high altitudes, we'll actually use the differential pressure, and it will be sucked. Watch TV, man. What are you talking about? It's me, man. It's me. I've been a pilot for over 10 years now. I've been in Ryanair for about 8 or 9 years. So cabin is normally rate controlled, meaning that it controls the climb rate. So if you climb really, really fast, the system will try to mimic that climb, so it will be rate controlled. And it will be able to maintain an internal atmospheric altitude of 8,000 feet if you go up all the way to 41,000 feet. So at 41,000 feet, or even at 37,000 feet, the cabin altitude will be at 8,000 feet. And then the cabin pressure controllers have the different modes. You have the auto, which we talked about, and then you have the alternate. Those are identical. They will use DC power to move the motor, but the computer itself is AC powered. So if you lose AC power, you lose the computers, but the motor itself is using DC. And in manual control, in manual mode, that'll be DC powered, so you will always have access to it, and then you'll toggle the switch. If you lose all power, you need to go to manual mode. Oh, Lutch TV, were you the guys that were you the guy that did his first stream? No, it wasn't you, was it? Yeah. All right, guys. So now you know about the different controllers. Now, how do they get their information? Well, the computers get their all the data from the ADRUs, okay, or the air data computers, basically. The controller will get information about the ambient pressure, about the altitude, about the airspeed, and all that will be then fed into computers, and then the computers will then basically correct the climb rate to maintain a good climb. Oh yeah, Lodge TV, I remember now. How you doing, man? So glad to see you on the stream. So glad to see you on my stream now. So yeah. Excellent. Great stuff, guys. Now, let's talk about the outflow. The picture we talked about. So the cabin air outflow is controlled by outflow valve, and there's also some leakage which will occur. And the leakage will be through the toilets, which we already talked about. But there are also galley vents and by seal leakage. Even the doors will vent pressure. So all of that is then compensated by the outflow valve. So the outflow valve is where the majority of the air will then exit. And the air will go through the floor. So there are like grills, foot level grills, and the air will go down there. It will go at the lining, so not into the aft cargo hold, but it will go around the aft cargo hold, doing two things. Well, first of all, venting through there, but also heating up the cargo. The cargo compartments do not get fresh air because that would be bad in a fire, for example. But all the air will go along liners, like lining, and that will heat up the cabin. Sorry, the cargo valves. These are cargo valves. The cargo holds is called. And once it's gone through the cargo, around the cargo, I would say, then it's vented through the outflow valve. Emmanuel, I'm based in Malaga. Yeah. So on the ground and in flight with low differential pressures, you will also vent air through the eBay has something called has a outlet there as well, and this will do two things. So it will get rid of the warm air and it will also vent some of that pressure outside. In a flight in high cabin differential pressure, that thing will be closed. So there's another vent which is basically where the electronic compartment is, and electronic compartment is where the nose wheel is, just behind the nose wheel. That's where all the computers are. There is also a valve there, which will vent all the warm air in low differential pressure state. So being like coming in for landing, and you could hear it quite audibly from the flight deck that that vent has opened. That vent could be opened if there is a cargo fire or smoke alarm, basically, in the new airplanes. So the airplanes we fly, they will automatically open that thing. And the old 737, so probably the one I'm flying now in PMDG, what I need to do is I need to configure the presurization panel, so this panel right here, for smoke removal. And if I do that, so bringing these to high and closing off the recirc fans, that will then force that valve open as well. Loglem93 says, if the 737 was my first paying job, my first paying job was flying, I think skydivers, and then Ryanair shortly thereafter. So let's have a look at our flight. Make sure I'm not talking too much, cause no, we're looking good, guys. Looking good, and we should be landing. So top of descent is at 8:23, and now it's 8. What? What a short flight! God, that's short. Let's go ahead and go. That didn't do much. Let's go to initref, tags, performance. Cool. Just bringing the speed back a little bit. This flight was way shorter than I thought it was going to be. Sean Host, have you ever been inside a control tower? Yes, I have, sir. I have been inside a control tower a few times. Gear off, man. What? Oh, man. There we go. The gear is off. That happened when I accidentally pressed the gear down thingy. So let's talk about the auto. So how does auto work? So in auto systems, and the auto system, both alternate and auto, they're identical, right? And they will swap between the flights. So one will do one flight and the other will do another one, so they will alternate. You need two preset values. You need to tell it two things for it to work properly. You need to tell it your flight altitude, which is the top thing here. That's what you're telling the airplane that you're going to cruise at. You also need to tell it your landing altitude, which is the one below it. So in our case, it's 50. Then takeoff, the airport where you took off from, that will be automatically fed into the computer. So using the cabin altitude. And then there are some weight and wheel switches, and they're called air ground safety sensors. And then they will signal to the computer that you are now airborne. And once you're airborne, it will start pressurizing the airplane. It does actually start pressurizing once you press the TOGA and you start your takeoff roll. So the cabin will begin to pressurize on the ground once you hit your TOGA and bring your throttles forward. And then the controller will modulate the alpha valve towards close. And it does this because it wants to slightly pressurize the cabin. Because your altitude will go down slightly, and then that will be, once you start climbing, it'll be way better for like the passengers and the crew. It'll be also better response for the airplane because it starts a little bit below, and then it'll be more of a gradual climb. And in the air, the controller will maintain a proportional pressure difference between the airplane and the cabin altitude, just like we talked about in the beginning. So if you climb really fast, the cabin altitude will climb really fast. So it's proportional to what you're doing with the airplane. And of course, it will watch out for all the maximum PSI and all stuff like that. If the valve opens a little bit, the cabin altitude increase, would you be able to realize it without looking at the control panel? You could, especially if you got a cold, man. If you got a cold, you will feel the pressure difference. Now, climbing is okay. Descent is the one that will kill you. Night Fresh. Sorry, man. I probably mispronounced that name really badly. But how does number 2 work? Oh, you're not talking to me. I'm so sorry. I do apologize. Now, what will happen if you descend the airplane before reaching the 40,000 feet which you told it? Well, then what's going to happen is you're going to get off-schedule descent, which is a light right there. That will come on, signifying that you didn't reach your cruise altitude. Then the computer will disregard your landing elevation, the one you told it, so we put 50, and instead it will replace that with your departure airfield elevation. And it does that because it's like a automatic abort thingy. That's what they call it. So, for example, let's say you take off and you have engine failure, you need to return, right? So you're not going to hit your cruise altitude. You're gonna level off and you're going to return. Then you don't need to set the landing altitude anymore because it will use the departure airfield elevation. It's just an automatic thing, you know. It's just to help you out a little bit. Do I watch sports? I like to play sports. I do a lot of sports myself, but I don't have time to watch much sports. Now, the airplane will keep climbing until it hits about 0.25 psi of your flight altitude. Once it hits that, it will go to cruise mode. And in cruise mode, it will try to maintain the lowest altitude, cabin altitude, with respect to the PSI. And you can see that on a table. And you see it on this table right here. Oh man. Okay, I will not try not to move my mouse. Alright, that table right there. Okay, I will... Whatever. You gotta get what I'm talking about, right? So that's where you will see your... what it will try to do. So we can have a look at 40,000 feet. We should have 8.35 psi. And if we look here, yeah, it is 3.5. That's correct. So our cabin altitude is 8,000 feet. Look at this side. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8,000 feet. And then the descent mode will start once you leave about 0.25 psi. And then it will start a descent to... And it's quite interesting because they really thought about this one. It will start a descent proportional to your descent rate again, but it will plan to be at 0 before your aerodrome elevation. So if your airport is here it will try to be level like way before. And the reason it does that is because it tries to avoid rapid changes towards in altitude towards the approach stages. So right there, then it can start slowing things down. And then once you land and you start taxiing in, that will drive the alpha valve slowly to full open, and the airplane will be depressurized. And then it also all the time the computer will monitor its performance. So if it doesn't perform satisfactory, it will just switch over to alternate. Now, what does the pilot do if both alternate and manual fails? So what we'll do then is you need to go to manual. And then there's a separate DC motor, which you can then control the alpha valve manually using this toggle right here. If you use this, guys, you need to be extremely careful. Extremely careful. Because have a look. Let's see how PMDG simulates this. I'm not sure how we'll do it. So look at the cabin altitude rate. And where is the... I have to zoom out a little bit. Man, I hate this easy dock thing. Alright. So have a look at the cabin altitude. And look what happens if I move it to open. Yeah. So that was it. I held it for like, a second and a half. And we're already climbing at 1,500 feet per minute. That will be very uncomfortable for the passengers. Extremely uncomfortable. So let's go ahead and go back to manual. That should close the alpha valve, and we should actually then start a descent to 8,000 feet again. Naughty. So the air will be taken from the outside, and it will be filtered. The air is filtered, and it goes through a lot of stages. If you want to learn more about the air conditioning system, go ahead and check out my previous stream. So if you do that, guys, you need to be extremely careful when you actually use it, because it works way slower than the computer. To move it from closed to open takes about 20 seconds, but still, even a slight tap will start a rapid climb, and that will be extremely uncomfortable for the passengers. Hey, CD3D, I'm sorry I have to leave, man, but next time I'll host you, bro. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one, hopefully. Probably on Sunday when you fly back. So yeah, Nori, I hope that answered your question. How are we doing on our flight? This flight was way shorter than I thought it was going to be. I cannot believe it. I was in speed at the event, or all the time, whatever. Monkey's back home. Välkommen hem, mannen. Välkommen hem. Hey, Safilads. How you doing, man? So, absolutely. So if you want to learn more about that, go check out the previous stream where we talked about it then. So the air will be taken, it will be filtered. It's not unfiltered air, and it will go through a lot of stages. It will go, well, through the engines. It will be converted to something called bleed air. The bleed air will then go into the heat exchanger, and then from the heat exchanger, it will go out, and it will go to something called a refrigeration unit, which will cool air. Then you mix that with some trim air, which is some bleed air, and then you take that to a water separator, will take away the humidity, and then you will go to the mixed manifold. And it's a lot of stages. It's not just that you take air and you put it into the flight. Cly asks if ever had a mechanical failure in 737. How did you handle them? If you want to check that out, well, first of all, stay tuned on this stream because we're gonna have a failure and we're gonna deal with it. But go ahead and check out the engine failure episode I did. I should probably do another one soon because that one's gonna disappear. But that was a really good one, and you'll learn a lot. Because especially the engine one, the engine failure thing we talked. It was like a 3-hour thing or 3 or 4 hour thing where we dealt with an actual engine failure. We did everything. We briefed the cabin crew. I even did one of my infamous PAs, I would say, to the passengers and all that stuff. So yeah, go ahead and check those out to learn more about how to handle a actual emergency. So, do you guys understand now how this system works? It's really important to put your land altitude because that's what the computer will use to calculate how to open and close the outflow valve to make sure that you are at the correct pressure once you attempt a landing. If I were to leave that at, let's say, 2,000 feet, the airplane will will be completely unpressurized 2,000 feet, and you'll be flying unpressurized from 2,000 until you're landing. You don't want that, so landing altitude is really important. It has a auto turnback feature, so if you start your descent before you hit your cruise altitude, you will get a master caution, air conditioning, and an off-schedule descent. In that case, the landing altitude, it will not be replaced, but the computer will disregard it and it will use your departure airfield elevation instead. There's a QRH for that one. If you want to learn more about it, go ahead and look in your QRH, and it will say what to do if you do get that light. Basically, it would just say you to either ignore it if you're returning, or just reset it if you're going to land somewhere else. We talked about how the alternate and the auto computer are the same, and they will alternate between each other depending on the one will do one cycle, one will do the other one. And then you have the manual control. If you select manual, you have to look at your at the placard here, and then adjust your cabin altitude accordingly. Be extremely careful operating that switch if you have to. Opening it for only 5 seconds will increase the climb rate to way above anything comfortable for passengers. The landing altitude salad will be found on your chart, on your plate. So if you look in your plate, let's see if I have one. Alright, there we go, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go bam. So here we go. Airport elevation, there you go, in Stansted. That's not where we're going today, but you will find it on your plate. 348 is the airfield elevation. There is another way of checking it, which is not approved, but you could also find the data in the FMC. So let's see, Echo Golf Sierra Sierra, that's again not where we're going. And there you have your airfield elevation, 348. So you could check your FMC or you could check the actual plate. You're supposed to check the plate. You're not supposed to take the FMC for granted. What happens if you dial in a too low altitude? So, Hovercat, what happens if you dial in too low on the on that one? Well, it will keep climbing the cabin. The diff pressure will keep increasing until it hits the max diff pressure, and then it will fly at that. And then you could even, it's not good, right? You don't want to accidentally opening the pressure relief valves or anything like that, which we talked about. You don't want to exceed those 9.1 psi's. Joshua, how long to landing? Progress 51. So in about yeah, I guess 40 minutes or something like that. But that being said, something is gonna happen shortly, so take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Yeah, that is the landing elevation. Oh, you mean what? Okay, so you won't depressurize correctly. If you dial in like 650, it will start the descent, but way too slow. So once you hit 0, it still thinks you're going to keep descending, and that could also open up the negative relief valve. So there are protections. The airplane will not, nothing will happen. But if the airplane is still pressurized, you won't be able to open the door, because the airplane is still pressurized. Guys, basically that will be part of the checklists. In my airline, this panel is checked many times. Specifically, the altitude and the landing altitude will be checked, let's see, twice on a checklist. But then we check this panel, like I told you guys, we check it on after takeoff checklist. We'll take it at 10. We'll check it at 10, 20, 30, 40,000 feet, and then again on the way down. So it will be checked many times, but the airplane will not crash or anything like that. Hey Stig, how you doing, man? I'm doing great. Naughty? Well, you could get it for free in Sweden, man. If you go to Trafikflyghögskolan in Lund or in Norway, you can get it for free. All right, guys. So if do you have any questions about the presurization system, anything more, anything you want to know, how to operate it, or anything like that, just let me know. We'll go ahead and do that. And once you're happy and you understand how this presurization system works, we'll go ahead and do a emergency. Have you ever flown a helicopter? Yes, I have. I don't have a helicopter rating, but I've gone with my friends, and then I've tried it, and it's so much fun. It is crazy fun. Batman, I'm doing great, man. Well, it's not the school is part of Lunds Universitet, but the school is in Ängelholm, I think. The actual school. Have you got a pilot license? Yes, my license is called a ATPL. When is your next flight? Tomorrow to Manchester. We have one. We have one guy from Manchester. One of my followers. All right, guys. So something's gonna happen. Let's go to alt hold because I don't want VNAV. Oh, VNAV won't actually. It doesn't matter. He won't descend because I won't wind that on. Something's gonna happen. Looks like you guys are happy with the pressurization. How do you do a positive landing rate? What does that mean, man? What does it mean? It's not frozen, Kakus. It's nice and warm. It's nice and warm. Unless you have ATPL frozen, then it's different. I do not. Mine is actual ATPL. I am always excited before a flight. Hey, RJP, there we go. He is in chat indeed. He is in chat. So tomorrow, RJP, I will be in Manchester, and I will be there. Let's see, what time am I scheduled to land? Checking my phone quickly before 8:50 Zulu. So I'll be 9:50 your time. 9:50. Check out my sweet, sweet landing. My flying gas mask. All the best of luck to you. I hope you can start from there. Flying is more than it's just a lifestyle. Let's put it that way, and it's a passion. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Setup, aircraft, failures. Pressurization. So looks like we can only choose pressure hull integrity. So I guess what this means is going to be a big hole. So before we do it, let's talk a little bit about the different kinds of decompressions you can have. Basically, there are two kinds. You have the rapid decompression, which is probably what's going to happen once I press that button, or you can have a subtle, slow decompression. The slow one is a little bit harder to identify. Nevertheless, you don't afford to misdiagnose that problem. The Helos, very famous accident, unfortunately, they crashed because the airplane wasn't pressurized. They set up this panel incorrectly. What happened was they had the computer in manual. It was a manual. The outflow was open. The outflow does not move. The airplane doesn't pressurize, and they kept climbing. And in the end, they suffer from hypoxia. Hypoxia is it's not a sickness, but it's a state you will have if you don't get enough oxygen in your blood. And the signs of hypoxia are, well, initially you might shortness of breath, you might yawn a little bit extra, you might get a little bit tired, but once it progresses, you will lose your function and ability to your uselessness. At 40,000 feet, guys, at 40,000 feet, once I press that button, I have about 10 to 15 seconds to get my mask on. 10 to 15 seconds. After that, I'm in no state. It's called time of useful consciousness. After that, I'm no good anymore. I'll be looking and I'll be laughing, and you might experience euphoria and stuff like that. Go ahead and check YouTube. There are some videos out there where they will go and enter a pressurization chamber, and they will simulate a high altitude environment, and you will see how they will suffer from hypoxia. They will be incapable of doing the most simple tasks, as taking the blocks and putting them in the, the blocks, the one you give to babies, and the star has to go into the star hole and fit those things. They'll be incapable because they're suffering from hypoxia. So you have about 10 seconds, between 10 and 20 seconds at most altitude, to get your mask on. So that's why this thing which we're going to do now is memory items. We will not bring up our checklist. We will do this by memory because of the time, the critical time pressure. The arguable pair, yeah, it's crazy how they missed it, because they're gonna have a lot of signals. They had a lot of signals. First signal they had was, well, something is wrong. They should have felt it, because your N1s, I mean, no man, there's no way, there's no excuse really. They should have checked the panel. Once you have that in manual, look, there's a damn green light there. It shouldn't be there. That switch is always part of all airlines' checklists, to check that specifically that switch. Then all the masks dropped in the cabin, and they had the cabin horn altitude. They had an altitude warning. The problem is, and it's not a flaw, but it's a design oversight. The altitude warning will warn you once the cabin altitude exceeds 10,000 feet. That horn is the same horn as the takeoff configuration warning. So they got confused, but you have to remember the takeoff configuration warning will not happen in the air. All the airplanes I fly will have an extra set of lights, and they will be here, and they will also give you a visual indication that it is a cabin altitude warning and not a takeoff configuration. So that's something they've added on to all 737s, I think, since the Helios accident. Since the Helios accident, Boeing said, okay, we're going to retrofit this light, and now you will, not only will you hear the horn, you can look and it will say cabin warning. Clyde, the simulator is absolutely like the real thing, I would say. The flight mechanism and all the physics is the same. They act the same. They react the same. The actual flying is different because of the visuals. Normally, when you fly, you rely a lot on your visual cues, but we have a bit to go there yet. So the argument says they have been fitted by the end of 2005. So there you go. There you go. So all the 737s now have that light. And I think it was part of their airworthiness certificate. Okay, guys, so I'm going to press that button, and it's going to be a depressurization. And I'm going to tell you what I need to do. So, pressure. Let's go ahead and get some audio on. Oh my god, that is loud. Give me 1 second, guys. Is that too loud? There we go. So I'm gonna press this. We're gonna hear a warning. Wow, that was straight away. As soon as I hear that warning, masks on. Pick out your quick dawn oxygen mask. You press these red levers, and it will inflate. There will be tubes. Put that over your head. Take your headset off. Put the mask on, put your headset back on. He will do the same thing. Establish communication. Can you hear me? The other guy will say, yes, I can hear you. We have now established communication. Second thing, tell the guy, okay, cancel the warning and state the malfunction. There is a altitude horn cutoff switch. Press that button. That horn is incredibly loud. Incredibly loud. You need to press that horn. Press that button. Cancel the warning, state malfunction. The first officer on this seat, he will, oh man, how do you zoom out? Okay, that doesn't matter. his actions will be to look, and he will, man. So all this will happen simultaneously. This will happen really quickly. Once you have deep compression, a lot of things, you're going to be noise, it's going to be wind. Because of the pressure difference, all the humidity in the air will actually condense, and you could even have clouds in the damn airplane. All the dust and things will be flying around. It's a quite a dramatic thing. So he will look at the panel and look, okay, so what happened there? The differential pressure, that's the most important thing. It's zero. There's no differential pressure. Look at the differential pressure. Also, you can look at the cabin altitude of 40,000 feet. Clearly, the airplane is not pressurized. His actions is to bring out the precision mode selector to manual, and then he will manually close the outflow valve to make sure. Maybe one of the computers screwed up, and clearly it's already fully closed. He has no control. He will tell the captain, I have no control. And it doesn't matter who's pilot flying. If this happens, I will take control. I will be pilot flying, and he will be pilot monitoring in this case. So captain, no control. Then I will tell him. I will tell him. Okay, so emergency descent. He will turn on the seatbelt sign, go up here and deploy the oxygen mask. If they haven't been already, he will do it anyway, and he will start his procedures, and he will do a flow. My actions. Let's start with my actions first. This all happens really fast, guys. I will take that PA microphone, and I will do my PA, and my PA is emergency descent, emergency descent. No, that was a shit PA, but yeah, that would be my command. I will take the PA. Well, I cannot take the PA. What you need to do is you go in the ACP here and you select mask, and you press PA, and then you transmit, and you say emergency descent 3 times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind this down just twice, just with my hand, like just wind it down like twice. Then I will go here and just wind that, about 45 degrees or something, and then press heading, level change. I will manually close the thrust, but I will not disengage the throttle, and then I will manually deploy the speed brakes. Okay, I've done this. Now the airplane is descending. Then I will go back. I will go back to my INSAP and I will clean it up. Clean up means bring this down to your to 10,000 feet, or whatever the MSA is, your minimum sector altitude, your grid MORA, whatever. So the minimum altitude you could go to, or 10,000 feet, and then bring this to your MMO or VMO. So there you go, 0.82. And you may have intermittent overspeed. That is okay. In this scenario, it is okay. It is permissible. I mean, it's no problem. You have to report it afterwards, of course, but it's okay. The heading change is to get off the airway. So I want to turn off the airway, and I want to start my descent. So I'm off the airway now, and the descent is going. The speed brake is out. Airplane is descending. Okay. Now the first officer will go, and he will do his actions. Oh man, this is okay. The first officer's actions are. So he needs to deploy those oxygen masks. He will continue down, press those to continuous. He will turn on the lights, all the lights except the retracts. This is so we are visible, increase our visibility. He will continue to go down, and he will squawk 7700. This is the emergency frequency. The emergency squawk. Now, if they are traffic controllers, they will be able to see us, even if we're not in their sector, because sometimes they might filter us out, and they will start moving airplanes because we're gonna come down and we're gonna descend really fast. Like, look at that descent rate; it's over 6,000 feet per minute. Okay, and then he will also go on ATC and he will advise: Mayday, Mayday, Mayday! Flight sim 123, emergency descent, and he will request the local QNH. Because we're now flying on 1013. We don't want that. We want the local QNH. So we'll set the QNH. We'll go ahead and press standard and set the QNH. So bam, QNH is set. So in this case it was 1008. QNH set. We're now going down. Okay, so let's pause here. Our actions are complete. He has done his memory items, and I have started descent. I have the speed brake out. And what he needs to do now, the first officer, is he's going to call me every 10,000 feet. So he's going to say 30,000, 20,000, and I want him to monitor terrain, I want him to monitor weather, I want him to monitor traffic, and I want him to monitor the whole thing. So he will sit here and monitor everything. But now we don't just sit on our hands, we're actually going to bring up our QRH. We're going to bring our QRH. I will fly the airplane, right? So I will do my thing. I will just fly the airplane, but the first officer will bring up the QRH. And let's go ahead and do that now. I actually prepared it for us. And let's go to edit. So sorry guys, I'm just gonna try to fix. Ta-da! So we're gonna go to our emergency descent checklist. Notice how the cabin altitude is at 2.1 is really big. The reason they're at the front page and really big is because it should be easy to see. The one we're gonna go to is emergency descent. Notice how that's literally the first checklist. Is the first abnormal checklist 0.1? It's because that's the one. We cannot be fucking around, guys. This will happen and will happen really dramatically. So we'll go to our first checklist, which is emergency descent. There you go, emergency descent. He will pick up the checklist and he will start reading. So whilst he's reading, the descent will continue. So one or more of this occur, cabin altitude cannot be controlled. Yes, a rapid descent is needed. Advised emergency descent, the captain will advise the cabin of the PA system. We've already done that. That is memory items. Pass signs on, that is already done, but he will still read it because maybe we missed it. So pass sign on, he will check, yes, it ons. Without delay, descent to lowest safe altitude or 10,000 feet, whichever is higher. In our case, it was 10,000 feet, and we asked for the QNH. So it's altitude, is not a flight level, guys. Engine starters both to continuous. They are already in continuous, but you still need to check it. Thrust lever is both reduced to minimum thrust as need for anti-ice. Speed flight detent. Set target speed to MMO, VMO. In our case, now it has transitioned over to VMO. And that's the end of the normal. That's the end of our memorizers. We did everything correctly. And then we'll go ahead and read our checklist. So, when approaching the level of altitude, smoothly lower the speed brake to down detent, and then add thrust. Okay, so we know that. Crew oxygen mask to normal. So the masks have emergency, normal, and 100%. They need to be normal to conserve oxygen. Engine start should both as needed. And then new course of actions based on weather, oxygen, fuel, airport remaining, and long range cruise may be needed. And the normal checklist. So that was the checklist, and it has been accomplished basically. That checklist is a little bit different from the one my airline has. So it's a little bit different, so that's why I was stumbling a little bit. See, so Joshua, does one pilot do takeoff landing? No, we will alternate. So like today I started because the airfield I flew into was specifically captains only. But then he flew back and I let him land in Malaga. Narol, am I saying that right? Nariol extreme. Probably next stream will be with pilot Maria. So yeah, guys. So that's your actions, right? So we're gonna continue monitor. We're gonna keep going down, and you're gonna notice that it's not over yet. We still have to do some actions. We still have things to do, guys. At 20,000 feet, excuse me, at 2,000 feet before your level off, start reducing the speed. Start reducing your airspeed, and then 1,000 feet before level off. Oh, look at the rain! So cool. I love this active sky thing you guys told me to buy. Would you do an emergency descent if you're in the middle of Atlantic, for example? How? So, SAFL, that when you fly with Atlantic, there are some contingency procedures. Basically, they need to do. I'm not familiar because I don't fly that. I'm not familiar with the procedures, but from what I understand, they need to, I think, go down. I think 500 feet, turn off the heading, fly for a while, and then go down. So they can't just go down like I did. They have some specific procedures. Joshua, no, you may not see the outside of the airplane because I'm actually doing things. So 2,000 feet to go. I'm going to bring the speed back, and a good speed would be long range cruise is 300 knots ish. So set 300, and then you might go to long range cruise. At 1,000 feet we go. Stow the speed brake and stow it very slowly, because once you stow it, the pitch will change and you might overspeed. Hey, PL Matty. Well, welcome. Never, better late than never. Yeah, better late than never. And then once we're level, we'll just go ahead and let this level out. So you went to Alt Acquire, so it's adding the thrust, bringing the speed back, should be leveling off nicely. Sean Host, it was the minimum. I don't know what the actual, if Boeing said set a minimum length. It just depends on your performance. The shortest runway I fly to is 1,700 meters, and that's the one I flew to today. Alright guys, so once we're level off here, we need to do a few things. Crank, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. It's quite a beauty, isn't she? Unfortunately, my frames right now are like 60, between 50 and 60, and I'm using 100% of my CPU, but only on one core. I have 16 threads or 8 cores, and I can only use one of them. Sucks. And my GPUs, they will basically be at idle all the time because this is so poorly optimized for today's day and age. Alright guys, so we're level. The first thing I need to do now is I'm gonna go on my PA again, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna make a command, tell the number one. So cabin crew, I don't know what the commands are in most airlines, but I will say something. So for example, cabin crew to your stations. And then the cabin crew, that will be their cue to come off oxygen. And then they will start securing the cabin, and they will walk through the cabin, make sure everything's okay. Now, how do you get off the oxygen masks? Well, check your altitude, make sure it's below 10,000 feet. Once you have identified, both of you have identified that the cabin altitude is below 10,000 feet, then, believe it or not guys, believe it or not, in my airline, the first officer will get off oxygen first. Haha! So we'll have the first officer take off his mask first, make sure he survives. Once he's, yeah, you're okay, still alive, then I'll get off my mask. So that's the procedure in my airline. So he will come off oxygen first. If he's okay, I will come off mine as well. Once we've done that, we need to make a plan. So we could set 10,000 feet in our cruise altitude. 10,000, you could just put 100, we work the same. Press long range cruise, and you see the long range cruise is now, okay, is this 240 because we have a speed limitation. And then we'll make a plan. So I'll start turning towards the runway. So how do you deal with the situation? We'll use that procedure we talked about during our engine failure. We use something called PIOC. So it's it's basically a bunch of different letters, and everything means something. So the P means problem. What is the problem? Well, we have depressurized the airplane. It was a rapid depressurization. Something has happened to the airplane, so something is wrong. It could be structural failure. If there's a structural failure, don't go to MMO, VMO like I did. Don't go to max airspeed. Maybe just maintain the current speed for your descent. In that case, you might consider taking the landing gear to get a more acceptable rated descent if you suspect structural failure. Yeah. What if it doesn't survive? Yeah, then we're in trouble, huh? Let's go to. So I'm gonna go ahead and press LNAV here, guys. So yeah, what information do we have? Information. Go check with the cabin crew. Go have them walk up and down. They will relay the information. So yeah, Captain. Yeah, there was there's a hole in the cabin. All the passengers are okay, but they're complaining of this and that. And gather more and more information. What's the weather at? What's the weather in our destination? What's the weather there? What's the weather that? Gather as much information about the problem as you can. Because once you have the information, then you can look at your options. Not before. Okay, we can go there and there. Well, no. What information do we have? Because maybe we cannot go there. Maybe it's gather the information first before you. No, I have not been there, Batman. I don't know. I have not been there. and then select something. So in our case, our option is going to be okay. So Marseille's our destination.
Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear.
T-Brams, my man, gotta go. Thanks for another outstanding lesson. Here's to another well-deserved cup of coffee. T-Brams. Believe it or not, T-Brams, he donated before this guy. I love this guy. He donated before for me and Maria to have a coffee, and we actually went and we had one on you, T-Brams. So man, I appreciate it. God damn it, you're such a good guy, man. Thank you so much, man. Seriously. One day, if you ever come to Malaga, you better hit me up on Twitch, and I'll buy you a coffee. Cause that is so kind of you, man. Really. I'll be smiling like an idiot for the rest of the stream. So, man. Hallucination. Have you ever experienced failure in rail? Of course not, man. Seriously? I'm a professional pilot. Like any airline, whatever airline it is, they gave me money to fly the airplane and follow the standard procedure. They did not pay me to play or jerk around or no. I'm there. I'm doing a job and I'm doing a professional job. Doesn't matter which airplane I fly. Doesn't matter which airline it is. I will always do my job 100% to the best of my abilities. Always. In the simulator, on the other hand, absolutely, I have done every single kind of emergency you could think of. Do you feel like a boss walking through airport in uniform? Get a approval look? Bro, no I don't, man. There's nobody looking at me. Trust me. If you want to be a pilot for the chicks and the fame and the glory and the money, trust me, there are none, man. There are none. Do it because you love flying, man. So options, as I said, Marseille is our destination. We're close to the airfield. Runway is really long, and so on. So the decision making should be structured, and you should come to an option. And Marseille should be a good option, and you should then select Marseille as an option. So go ahead and select Marseille. We've done that. We've put in a new cruise. We can go ahead and press VNAV if we want to, and now we're good to go. It's really important after emergency time to check your fuel and stuff, because maybe you cannot reach airfield or the airfield you want to reach, because now you're not flying at your optimal altitudes anymore. Hey, angry Sid, how you doing, man? Experienced? Oh, of course I've experienced failures. I've never experienced like something. I've never called Mayday. Let's put it that way. It could be bits and bobs, like, small things, but the 737 is an amazing airplane. It has so much redundancy built in, because it's such an old airplane, it's been flying for ages. You don't need to worry. Like, for example, today, in the beginning of the stream, we talked about the precision panel. Just for the pressurization, you have a master computer and an alternate computer. They're identical, they're redundant, and they will alternate between each other. So for whatever reason, both of them have to fail, and then you could still go into manual mode. That's 3 different systems, 3 different things to control the pressurization. Just for example, just because we talked about that, you have 2 sources of bleed air and 2 packs. 1 source of bleed air and 1 pack is enough to maintain pressure up to 41,000 feet. So flight 410. So there is a lot of redundancy built in. But for example, I could have 1 pack fail. It has happened. It happens occasionally. It's no big deal. You have the other pack, or but nothing major. I've never had an engine failure or anything like that, thankfully. So, had a Ryanair bird strike on? Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, absolutely. And they returned to land actually. I've had bird strikes, but I've never actually damaged anything. Who should we ban? Who's annoying you? Game mod reviews. What the fuck is this, man? There you go. I kicked this guy. I don't know what the fuck he was on about. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Would the squawk be Would the squawk still be 7700? Yeah, it would be squawk 7700. We're still in an emergency, so probably we'll just keep that. There's no need to change it. And I've declared Mayday, so. Right, so let's go ahead and so 11115. What's the wind, by the way? Oh man, it's not the. So how do you change the winds? Let's just pause the sim because I really want to show you guys 3-1 because this is such a cool approach in Marseille. Let's see if I have. Where's my active sky? Active sky conditions. Search. Manual. Surface. What's Marseille? LFML. LFML, the surface wind is. Oh, but it is runway 31. Does anyone have a METAR for 31? I'm gonna. Okay, METAR. LFML. Submit. 270 at 11. Oh, fine. We'll just keep that scav on then. Live. Okay, so we should be able to land there. Yeah, 11115. 11115. This I'm just doing because the approach is really cool. You will see the difference between 3 and 4 degrees. The difference between 3 and 4 degree glide path is a lot. Is it 313? Same as Malaga. 313. 313. Oh, thanks, Matty. So 270 at 11, all the 9s, scattered 21, broken 63, 16 degrees, 1009. To get rid of this, to get rid of that yellow thing, you could go to your descent page, forecast, and just change that to above, so put that to 120, whatever. Bam. And that will get rid of that message. Ollie Sirs, are you new here? Bro, welcome to the stream. I'm a real life captain, so I will just tell you about the stream because you just pointed out that you're new. I'm a real life captain. I do fly the 737 4 rail. What I do in my stream is normally we'll take off and we'll talk about a system or something. And today's topic was about pressurization. So today we took off, we talked about the pressurization system and all the bits and bobs. And after that we had a rapid depressurization and we talked about how to deal with it. And so that's kind of my theme. That's what I do on the stream today. Now, next stream, on the other hand, will be a normal day, normal operations. Hopefully, it will be next stream. And I'll have a first officer next to me, a real-life first officer. Her name is Pilot Maria, and then we'll do a bit of a longer flight. Look at the airspeed going all crazy. We'll do a bit of a longer flight, and we'll do all the SOPs, all the call-outs, all the checklists, everything as real life. And then we'll go ahead and answer as many questions as we can because that's what this stream is all about. You guys asking questions and me hopefully being able to answer them. If I can't answer them, I will definitely look him up and learn about it. Dance floor runalizer. I don't have a YouTube. I've been meaning to set one up for ages now. I don't know why I don't get around to it. You could watch the previous VODs for like a week, I think. Until if I ever get partnered, they will be there for longer. But until now, you can watch them for a week. But I'll definitely get one. Panic Mad Sheep. Oh, that's her. That's absolutely her. This Pilot Maria. She has a Instagram where she was also called Pilot Maria. Hopefully, she will join me on the next stream, and I'll have her sat next to me, and we'll do all the procedures. We did that once before, and it went great. She had a lot of fun. She was so nervous in the beginning, but in the end, she was so happy, and she couldn't be more happy with you guys. You guys really made her day. Thank you so much, guys. Pedro, how you doing, man? Welcome back. Is there a huge difference in the 737 F? Man, like I would say 90% accurate, even more, like 90 plus percent accurate. Flying wise, handling wise, no, I mean it's not like the real thing, obviously, but like system wise, I am so impressed. I'm really impressed by the way they've actually managed to set this airplane up. It's really good. I usually find one thing wrong per stream. Pedro, yeah, I did try that, but I think I need to have a turbo account or something because I tried to highlight them and it didn't let me or whatever. So. Oh, you watched it. Oh, you watched the speed pan. Oh, you watched the stream panic. Yeah, that was actually Palt Maria. She was the one on Instagram. Oh, yeah, I don't need turbo. Okay, Pedro, I'll have a look at it again. I don't know why it didn't let me. The approach into Marseille in real life is beautiful. It is so beautiful because you're gonna fly up here, you're gonna cross here, and you come around, make like a left turn, and you're gonna fly next to Marseille, and you're gonna have a beautiful view of Marseille. Hey, Chewy, how you doing, man? Thank you for the host. Man, this approach, man, I love Marseille. Well, airport itself was a mayhem. Nothing works. ATC is so busy. You know, they speak French on the radio. The turnarounds are not the best, but the actual flying, the approach is fun. And you're gonna see now, once we gotta get into runway 31 here. Sorry, yeah, 31. You're gonna notice again. I said it before, but the approach is actually a 4-degree glide path compared to a normal 3-degree, and you will see the difference. Hopefully. Rick Hunter, if you're colorblind, I'm pretty sure you can fly like general aviation, like fly Cessnas and gliders and then do aerobatics. I love aerobatics, for example. That's what I do for fun. I take an airplane and do loops and spins and rolls, and you know I go all over the place, and that is really fun. So don't be disheartened. You know, okay, you cannot be an airline pilot or a fighter pilot, but hey, maybe you could do something. Angry Sid, listen. If you know how to fly this PMDG, like if you're really good, you know everything about the PMDG, I could, no doubt about it, take you, put you in the right seat, and you will be good to go. I mean, you wouldn't be able to fly the airplane like hands-on physically, but you will have no problems manipulating the MCP, starting descent, doing everything, like you know, getting the flaps out, easy. If you know how to fly this, no problem, man, no problem. Dragoon, I mean, all airlines mostly speak English except the French and the Spanish ones. Everybody else speaks English. Oh, you live there, Alice Nation. I love flying to Marseille, and every time I go to Marseille, I stay in, there's a airport, sorry, their hotel there near the airport, and I always go to the airport and take a bus, and I go to a city called Aix-en-Provence. And Aix-en-Provence is beautiful, man. I love it. I love it there. Aix-en-Provence is beautiful. It's really close to Marseille. Can you show aerobatics, sister? Probably not, man. Oh, you live in Bilbao. Bilbao, Angry Sid. One day I will tell you the story about me flying to Bilbao. Bilbao was one of the goddamn hardest approaches I've done in the 737. No, I didn't know about this, but I've heard the Bilbao. Don't go to Bilbao. Like, man, Bilbao is shit. So we got the city right there, and I thought, man, can you move this thing away? So that's city up here coming up. All this is the city. It looks better in real life. It looks way better in real life. But hey, RJP, I agree with you 100%. But hey, you know the French and the French and the Spanish, huh? What do I need to go from a normal person to airline pilot? A lot of coffee, I guess. I don't know, man. So, okay, let's go ahead and get some flaps out here. Flaps 1, flaps 2, flaps 5. Press speed into vent, bring the speed back to up speed. VNAV will do that for you anyway, but I like to use speed into vent. Hovercat, well, I mean, the Russians do actually, well, they speak English once they get to Europe at least, so. No, it's not. No, the stick. I mean, the air traffic controllers will then they will speak to us in English, but they will speak to the French or the Spanish airplanes in their language, and it's annoying because then I lose a little bit of you know the loop. I'm outside the loop because I don't understand what's happening, and I like to have a whole picture. No, I like to know exactly what's happening around me. Clearly, I need a better senior or something. That's the airfield right there, and there's two runways. Normally, you will land on runway 31 right. If you have to land on 31 left, on the other hand, it's really fun and it's really challenging because, first of all, it's 4 degrees, like I mentioned. Then the runways are displaced, so you need to descend even more, and you need to sidestep, and it's a lot of fun doing that approach. Go ahead and press approach before I forget. And I've never landed in Kai-Tak in the simulator, man. Craven, yeah. I mean, go to pilot school, obviously. There are schools, absolutely. There are schools, and you can become a pilot. You should Google it. Google is your friend, man. Oh man, I love this approach. It's so cool. I can't wait until I get Marseille on my roster. Uh, Bellin says, isn't the goal most approach to maintain a CDA constant descent approach? Yes, it is. In Marseille, they have a approach. I'll just pause because I'm so close to the airfield. Marseille has a CDA approach. It's coded as X-ray, but it wasn't available. Oh, actually, look at that. I have to select my VRFs. It wasn't available in the in my nav database. So in that case, in Marseille, they actually don't do a CDA approach. They will actually level off, and those altitudes are hard altitudes, and you need to obey them. So Marseille is a bit special in that sense. Since then, they have introduced a constant descent approach into Marseille. So dance, well, today flap 40 would actually be a better choice. Well, actually, no, we're so light. If I was heavy today, I would go flap 40. The reason being that the descent angle, the descent path. Let's see if it's actually coded in FMC correctly. What the hell? Okay, in the real FMC, you will also have the descent path here. Will tell you. But because the descent path is 4 degrees, I would like to use flap 40 because that will bring down my speed, and the less speed I have, the less the descent rate would be. Just to manage the descent rate a little bit better. So today I would use flap 40, but because I'm so light today, I actually won't bother. So let's go ahead and release us. Coming up here nicely onto the approach. And in Marseille, I'm going to go ahead and go gear down flap 15 really early because of the glide path. So it's really hard to control the speed here. So flap 30, and then we'll just go 30 straight away. So flap 25 and then 30. Bam. just get it done with, because see how hard it is for that airspeed to come back down? See that? It doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to come back, and the thrust is at idle. So I'm going to bring my yoke. It's not a yoke, it's my joystick. And I'll try to land this baby. Put that there. Is that good? And bring the thrust back. I'm going to disconnect the auto throttle initially. And then I will disconnect the autopilot. I'll give you some audio. There we go. And I have control. Now if we put on our flight path vector, notice how it's not at 3 degrees. It's actually way steeper. Because this is a 4-degree glide path. And look at my thrust, it's still at idle, guys. Still at idle. That's why I decided to configure so early. Now the thrust is coming back. Is coming on. Now I have the thrust on. Because the descent is huge. I mean, it's crazy steep. Now, London Gatwick, it's not London Gatwick, City Airport in London is way steeper. That is, the 737 will come and land there. But here, wow, so steep. And it's a fun approach. And notice how 3-1 left is actually closer to you. So you need to descend even higher, with a higher rate descent. And you need to sidestep onto the other runway. So that is so much fun. That is so much fun. And let's see. Ah, it says I'm high. It says I'm still high. Alright, correcting. Just keep this descent. Still high, huh? So still low, still low. There we go. Two whites, two red. Coming down nice and steep. Wow, it still says I'll just follow the glide slope. Sure, I'll just go with the glide slope.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Reverses. That was a shit landing. Oh my god, if I landed like this, like, people would kill me. To vacate a high speed, you need about like 50 knots between. Try to vacate at like 45, but 50 is okay as well. Oh my god, that was fun actually. I enjoyed doing that. Cannot believe how you guys. I watched who was that? Oh man, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. What? Ah, he's a famous streamer. I feel like an idiot. I'm gonna. Okay, let me pause the sim. I have to check. I have to check what his name was. I feel like such a huge idiot right now. Oh. God, who was it? How do I see who I'm... Oh! Vrigless. Vrigless. He's also called Dave. I guess he goes by Dave, but his Vrigless89. He has an awesome stream, and he does like amazing landings, and I have no idea how he does it. I have no idea. He's so crazy. Yeah, Matt, is it Davis? I don't know. Yeah. Can you do a replay? I don't know how to do a replay, man. I have no idea. So, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and get an outside view. There she is, in all her glory. Add on. Oh, she's such a beautiful airplane. That is so cool, isn't it? Ha. Normally, Ryanair will park along this pier here. It's called the MP2 terminal. So, guys, hopefully you learned a lot today. Let's see. Instant replay. Is there one? How do you do that? Well, option, view, instant replay. Well, so oh man, how long was that ago? It was like 20 seconds ago? No, 50? I think, okay, this is what I think happened. I think I landed and then I bounced the thing. Okay. Alright, let's coming in nice. Look, the approaches are awesome. It's just the damn landing. Can't get the landing right. Alright, looking good, looking good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Flare, god damn it. Bam! And I'm airborne. I'm airborne. I'm airborne. Oh my god. If I did that in the real, if like man, if my first officer did that, I would take the damn manual and hit him in the head with it. That was awful. Oh my god, that was so bad. What happened to my speed brakes? Where are my flaps? I don't have flaps. Well, that's your problem. Well, I guess it's a thing with the replay. Yeah, man. That was crazy. Yeah, don't do that in real life. In real life, if I had bounced like that, I would have gone around. Like, fuck that, man. The problem is, guys, if you bounce the airplane, your ground spoils might deploy, and you will lose all lift, and you will come crashing down. So it's better to just, maybe call this quits, huh? Let's get out of there. So, alright, guys. Hopefully, today we learned a lot. So, we talked about pressurization. We took off from Palermo. We got airborne to 40,000 feet. I explained to you how the computers work and how to set up the panel. We talked about where basically how the whole system works. We talked about the cruise mode, the descent. It's rate controlled. 2 computers, 1 manual mode, and outflow valve. We have an outflow valve. That one will modulate. That's how you mainly control the cabin. But you also have leaks from the toilet, from seals, from a lot of things. There's also another vent, basically an outflow valve here, behind the E&E bay. And that one is made for, it will take the warm air and will vent it outside. That one will only open in low pressure, guys. And then what else? We also talked about what would happen if you have a decompression. And yes, indeed, I went into the FMC and I pressed, what did I press? Like a hull integrity thingy. And then that was a rapid decompression. 2 kinds of compression. First, the subtle, the slow decompression. That one's dangerous, guys. That one's really dangerous, and you need to correctly identify that. You cannot make mistakes, guys. You're not allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes means death in that case. Seriously. No mistakes. If it is a cabin, anytime you hear that warning, you will put on your oxygen masks. And in fact, before we had the lights installed, Boeing came out with a memo telling all the airlines that we recommend you include that part of your emergency brief in the morning. So my airline, as part of our emergency brief, now we don't have to do it anymore because we have the lights installed as per the service bulletin. But our briefing, we said it every time we took off. The first flight of the day, we always went, and if we hear the intermittent all-to-horn warning sound in flight with flight level 10,000 feet, we will immediately don our masks, set the regulators to 100%, and establish good communications. That was part of our briefing. That's how important it was. We need to get those masks on. We need to establish communications. We did that, and then we did our memory items for the first officers. From the first officer's point of view, so his actions were basically to make sure the oxygen masks were on in the cabin, and then we went on and turned on our belts, and he put the start switch continues, turned on the lights, he squat 7700, and he declared a mayday, 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 flight sim 123, emergency descent. And then I want him to get the local QNH for that area because we're not flying, we don't want to use standard, we don't want to use 1113, we want to use the local QNH, and we also want to ask ATC what the minimum sector altitude is. So find out what the minimum sector altitude is if it's above 10,000 feet, because maybe you lost pressure over the Atlantic. Okay, so then you can go down to 10,000 feet. Or maybe you lost the pressure over the Alps. Well, then you might have to be careful, huh? The captain, his actions, and he will always be flying in this case. His actions was wind down the altitude just twice. Go ahead and wind it down. Wind the heading 45 degrees off, left or right, whatever. Just, I mean, what is best, right? Maybe it's the water to your left side, go to the left. That's the reason for that, is to get off the airway. Press level change. Manually close the thrust. Just bring the thrust levers to idle. Don't disengage the auto throttle. You don't need to. Level change. And once you've done all that, the airplane is settled and descend. Get the speed brake out. Good. Airplane's descending. We're getting down. Now go back and clean the MCP. Clean the MCP means bring your altitude 10,000 feet or the minimum sector altitude. Make sure, note the heading. Tell ATC the heading, and then set your speed to MMO or VMO, meaning your maximum airspeed. And then keep going down. First officer will call every 10,000 feet. He will call 2,000 feet to go. At 2,000 feet to go, start reducing that descent rate. Bring the speed back. At 1,000 feet per go, slowly slow the speed brake. Not rapidly, slowly, because rapidly will increase the pitch. Will change the pitch attitude. You might overspeed. And then 1,000 feet, once at 1,000 feet, set either 300 knots or your long range cruise. Because now you have to look at your fuel options, yeah? So make sure your fuel options are okay. Once you've done all that, go ahead and tell the cabin crew that they can come off oxygen. So cabin crew to your stations, cabin crew, whatever your call is. And then they will start their procedures. And then you'll go ahead and make a plan. And you'll then execute that plan. So to create a plan, we use something called PIOC in my airline. So it is first establish the problem, get the information, check what your options are, select one, and then execute it. And then there's another E in there, so evaluate your option. Maybe your option wasn't good. You could always come back and revisit your options. That is the emergency descent. And that's what we did, man. And then we landed, and I screwed up the landing big time. Clearly, I'm not Dave of Wriggles. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it was fun anyway. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, because I did indeed. Thank you so much for your kind words, guys. I do love it. Craven, absolutely. If I get more donations, eventually I'll buy a flight yoke. Now my priority is to get a better webcam and maybe some capture cards and try to improve the stream. Thank you so much, the tree. Oh, Gem, thank you so much, man. Thank you, everybody. See you later, Angry Sid. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm not an American pilot. I'm actually Swedish. Tippet. Coyote. Radio failure? Didn't we do radio failure? I don't think we did a radio failure. Hey, FSXF Splash. Thank you so much for the follow, bro. Go check out my previous videos if you like what you saw today, and then absolutely go ahead and check out the next ones as well coming up. Let's see, did I miss any questions? Guys, do you have any questions? Let me know. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, radio failure steak. Alright, next stream. So tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah? So we might do one more stream before Pilot Maria joins. When Pilot Maria joins, it will be normal operations. So we'll do a normal operations. So nothing will happen, nothing will break, everything will be fine, and we'll do all the procedures from taxi out, all the checklists, and we will act as real pilots. So I remember, I don't know if you guys watched last stream. It was last stream with Maria, or the only stream I did with Maria. It was so funny because I told her, yeah, so we'll be real pilots today and read the checklist. And she was reading the checklist and she got to like hydraulics, and I said normal, and she was like, what? But you didn't check them. I'm like, and, so it's funny, she really takes it seriously. Whereas I was, man, it's a flight simulator. Of course it's normal. So no, she went like that, and since then I learned my lesson. And next time I will be even more professional. So I make sure that I will check every single thing before I actually respond to the checklists. So yeah. Splash. Okay, search for track hat. I'll definitely check that out. I'll check that out. Joshua, I think you asked me that like 50 times now. I flew to Dortmund. Joshua, please don't spam, man. I don't want to time you out. Like, please. Let's see. Brest the stroke. How long are you in flight school? Uh, I did like a year and a half before I finished like everything. A year and yeah, a year and 8 months or something like that. Clorix, do you fly RNAV RMP approaches by hand, or do you let the autopilot fly it? If the autopilot is at what point do you take manual control? You can manually fly RMP approach. The only thing you cannot manually fly in the configuration we have is Cat 3 approaches. Cat 2 approaches we're allowed to, but company procedure is not to, so we'll have the autopilot do it. RNAV approaches you can disconnect whenever you want. You can disconnect at 10 miles, at 20,000 feet, or you could disconnect just disconnect above minimas. Normally we'll disconnect at around 1,000 feet, maybe 700 feet, 600 feet, something like that. Maybe lower, depends on the day. But RNAV approaches, RMP approaches, yeah, you can definitely hand fly. Did you train with a company like CTC Wings? No, I went to like I did modular. I just did it on my own in a flight school in Sweden. DN Taz, if you're interested more about like the training aspects and where to go ahead and ask Maria when she'll be on this stream. It'll be like in a few days. I'll have her on, and she did her training way more recent than I did. Mine was more than 10 years ago, so my information is not current. It's not current at all. It was like 13 years ago, so. If I tell you something, it won't be up to date. No, strange fate. Ryanair will do Cat 2 and Cat 3 approaches. Just that Cat 3 approaches will always be the autopilot landing the airplane. Cat 2 approaches. I mean, according to the air law and stuff, we can hand fly a Cat 2 approach. Company procedure is on a Cat 2 approach, we'll let the autopilot land anyway, just to keep it consistent. Oh, random failures? Yeah, we could have a look at that as well. Angry Sid, thank you so much for stopping by, man. I really appreciate having you here. Uh, Hubble Telescope, yeah, my computer's fast, but it doesn't matter because Prepare, the flight simulator, they're not optimized. So I'm getting the same frames as somebody with like a computer, not that overkill, not that extreme. Richie D Gaming, I am doing great, man. I'm so sad to see you come now. The stream is like almost finishing, so man, fuck. I think you would have liked this stream, Richie. You know what's strange? That is a great idea. We might do that. I was actually thinking of that, but I was thinking the other way. So let Maria decide the failure, because I don't want to put too much pressure on her. She's still really nervous, and she's afraid she will make a fool of herself. And it's all women. Women are a little bit nervous. So maybe I'll let her set a failure, and then I'll deal with it. Whisper, I don't fly online. I've yet to like set that up completely. I have it set up. I just have to do it. But I do fly Ryanair for real life. Whisper. Have you tried to set up Cat 3 approach in stream before? 4-in-1, all my approaches in the beginning of the stream was Cat 3, because I didn't have a joystick when I started. That being said, we did one. I'm not sure if it's still up. One of my previous streams was about approaches, and then we talked about Cat 3 approaches, Cat 1, and non-precision approaches. So yeah. Hey, alright, Richie, man, awesome. Yeah, so Shirley Sea Monkey, hey, if I didn't see you before, hey, man, thanks for watching me. Shirley Sea Monkey, absolutely right. So I will let Maria maybe one of the stream. Maybe next stream will be normal ops, because I don't want to I don't want to stress her out. She's nervous as it is, being live on TV. But maybe the stream after that, I will tell her, listen, Maria, I will show her how the FMC works, how to set up a failure, and then she will decide the failure. Maybe she'll do it whilst I'm outside the room. So I'll leave the room. She'll come in the chat, then maybe she'll create a straw poll. I'll show her to the straw poll, and maybe you guys can decide the failure. And then I'll come back in, and that's it. I'll just deal with it. Whatever you guys decide, I will just deal with it. So that'll be cool. We'll definitely do that one of these days. So awesome, guys. Whisper, I normally say 90%. 90% accurate. Absolutely. Guys, wait a minute. Oh my God, what happened with Twitch alerts? Richie, just whisper me, bro. But what the fuck happened with my Twitch alerts? People have donated. I'm freaking out. Oh my God, this cannot be happening. Why is my stream always filled with goddamn problems? Guys, hold the fuck on. Like, something happened here. What happened? Oh my God, this cannot be happening. People have donated and I don't get it. I don't see it. Like, I don't see the stream. What the fuck? What the holy fuck? Oh man, I'm freaking out. Oh, Vriggle is in chat. That's the guy I was talking about. It was Vriggle, the guy that just came for my failure, just in time, Vriggles, by the way. But yeah, he's the guy that always fucking nails the landing. So yeah. All right, guys. Damn it! I'm freaking out. I'm panicking. People have donated. Oh my God! Why? Doesn't work. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, okay, hope these guys are in chat. No, he left. Oh my God, I'm gonna okay, Camero donated 10 euros. And he wrote, thank you for the amazing stream. Have a cup of coffee or another beverage of your choice. Oh my God, Camero, thank you so much. Camero's not in chat, and I want to. Oh, cannot be happening. Fuck, 10 euros as well. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I feel like a fucking jackass. Don't swear, by the way. It's not nice. Oh, but it says, because on stream labels, on my actual thing, it says 16 minutes ago, Camera donated 10 euros. So it shouldn't come up on the thing, no? Man, I feel like a jerk now. I'm gonna message this guy. I'm gonna write to him, like, personally apologize. And then the Hubble telescope donated €1, saying, did anything happen? No, nothing happened. And then I went onto Twitch alerts and I keep pressing test donation and nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Son of a bitch. So the Hubble telescope, thank you. The Hubble telescope, if you want to know what happened, me freaking out, that's what happened because you donated. Camera's here? He's? Oh my god. Okay, Camera. Thank you so much, man. My stream? I don't know what happened, bro. I don't know what happened. I apologize. Seriously, let me... I'm on my knees, man. I'm literally on my knees. Like, I'm so sorry. After this stream, I'm gonna get that fixed. I'm so sorry, Camera. He donated 10 euros. I cannot believe I missed it. Twitch alerts doesn't work. I don't know why. My test donations don't work. Nothing works. Oh my god. God damn it. So sorry, guys. So sorry. God. Alright, guys. On that note, we'll finish the stream. Because that was embarrassing. And hopefully you'll join me on the next stream. Next stream, well, maybe if I have time, we'll do another stream before Paul Maria joins. And then once Paul Maria has joined, the Twitch API must be down. Probably. Could be. Could be that the API is... No, the API is not down. Why is the API down? Because I still see the stream label. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Camber, again, thank you, man. No sweated, man. Technology, but thank you so much, though. I appreciate it. I'll get myself a cup of coffee and like a donut or something to make myself feel a bit better. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's stream. Sorry about the glitches. Go ahead and check out. Let's see if somebody's online. We'll go ahead and host somebody because somebody told me that's what you have to do. I didn't know about that, so I'm so sorry. Let's see if is Virgil's online. No, Virgil's not online. Of course not. He was just in my chat. I'm so stupid. And CDA3D is offline. That sucks. I would love to host him. He's a really nice guy. Go check him out. I don't know. I literally know nobody online right now. So, whatever. Cool. Thank you again so much. So, again, hopefully we'll do another stream. It will be a technical stream. And then the stream after that will be with Paul Maria. It will be normal ops. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And again, I apologize for missing the donations. But hopefully, follow me on Twitter if you want to know when the next stream is. And follow me on Twitch, because that would be awesome. See you guys later. Ciao.